What's up, everybody? It's the B-Hole, episode number 6. I just wanted to apologize for the background noise. You know what? I don't know why I keep apologizing to all you motherfuckers listening to me right now. Alright, listen. I don't have access to AC. I don't have lots of money, okay? All I have is a fan, Cambodia. It's hot as balls all the time. It's summer year-round here, okay? It's hot. I like to keep myself cool so I can talk shit for the hour. You guys can enjoy. If you guys got a problem with it, watch another fucking show or listen to another show, rather. I digress, everybody. I digress. Appreciate you guys tuning into Primo Sounds here. Primo Sounds. Appreciate the opportunity again, guys. Oh, yeah. I want to talk about my day a bit just to start. I had an interesting day. I learned a few things. So I just had my normal client. I actually woke up today feeling pretty good, man. The last about 2-3 days, I haven't really been sleeping too well at all. The night before last, I literally got no sleep at all. And then I go into the studio to do the show, and then fucking Jay is laying there. I guess he had been working there all night, and he just fucking, I mean, literally his eyes look like cherry. It looked like you took his eyeballs out of his head and replaced them with fucking cherries. But that's beside the point. I had to do something today which I've never done before. That's send mail from Cambodia. And I didn't realize that it was so unreliable. First off, I didn't realize that it was so unreliable. I didn't realize that it was so damn expensive. But I did expect it to be a pain in the ass because this is Cambodia. As I've said before, it's a third world country for a fucking reason, and it's not because the people who run the motherfucker and run all these big ass chains and businesses, it's not because they're on top of their game. It's not a third world country because the people running shit are on top of their game. It's not because anyways, I don't want to go on a damn rant and get all mad, but you guys get what I'm saying. So I talked to my dad the other day, and he wanted to actually buy one of my art pieces. He thought it would be cool to, and keep in mind, again, I live in Cambodia. My father lives in the United States of America, so I have to ship it there. And obviously it's no problem for me. And I figured, if I'm gonna give it to anybody, or not give it, but sell it to anybody, it does have personal value to me, like sentimental value, if you will. I'd rather my dad have it because I know if he has it, then I know that I'll at least have it again one day. So I sent him a couple of my good art pieces that he liked, and so I had to get it. So like if you were in Cambodia and you want to send shit from Cambodia to another place, definitely don't go to the post office, man. Like I've heard accounts from people. Now, granted, I've heard some good shit too. But if it's something like artwork or important documents or something very meaningful, then probably don't let the Cambodian post handle your shit. So I didn't even fuck with with the EMS. It's called the EMS, and I forget exactly what that stands for, but it's something about the fucking Cambodian Postal Service, and it's a shit show, by the way. It's a shit show. So they got a DHL office here, they got a FedEx here. I went to FedEx. It was close. It cost me it actually was a discount because I read the price was $60, $60 minimum, and that's if it's under 1 pound. So half a kilo. If it's under half a kilo or 1 pound of freight or weight or whatever, $60 minimum to charge. And mine were it was obviously under a pound, but she gave me a discount for $40. That was my day, man, and it never ceases to amaze me, the incompetency of some of the workers here, man. And again, it really goes to show why worldwide I think a lot of Cambodia doesn't get the respect that maybe it could, because you got to figure that so many foreigners and tourists come here to Phnom Penh or to Cambodia, and then they're right there. They're right there interacting with the Khmer. They're right there interacting with the people, and their first impression of these people is that, and generally speaking, like they're nice, but, and I don't want to throw the word stupid around, because stupid can kind of mean a few things, and I don't think it's that they're stupid. I don't think they're genuinely dumb. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. It's like this oblivious nature, this inconsiderate, like, they don't take any initiative to, like, even I went down to sit down to eat today, and I go and I sit at the table, and I'm obviously a customer. And the boy is up in this room, and his job is to, like, give me my drinks, like fill up, give me my drink and my tea now, peasant. No, he's there to fill up my glass, give me the menu, give me my, sauce or whatever. He's there, he's the fucking room boy. I don't know what the hell you call him, a bus boy, a fucking waiter. Anyways, I sit down, and he's just playing, he just kind of looks at me, starts playing Candy Crush or whatever on his damn phone. So I get up, I take a glass from the shelves, and I fill up my own glass of water. And then he looks at me like, oh, what have you done, sir? What have you done? And, I basically just said, oh, Koi Lang, which means, you're just sitting around playing around. You're just sitting, I basically said, all right, man, it's all good. Just sit down and play. And, then he got up off his ass and started doing something, man. But I'm just saying, like, I guess it's because they don't get paid a lot of money either. They don't really get paid shit, so they really don't have an incentive to work hard. They don't have an incentive to care. And I guess that the average Khmer person probably wouldn't take into account that the world sees this kind of behavior, this culture, if that's what you want to call it, this kind of behavior, this way of thinking, and they see it as you being stupid. They see it as your country sucking because the people there kind of suck too. Again, you'll be walking down the street, you'll be riding your bicycle, people will just randomly not look and just cut out right in front of you, and you have to hit your brakes. And of course, if you hit them, then it's your fault because you should have been paying attention. And it just, like, that kind of mindset makes you want to just fucking smack people. It just makes me want to run the streets of Phnom Penh with, like, just not even any weapons. I just want to run around just smacking Cambodians in the face sometime. I'm not gonna lie. Then again, no matter where I live, I'm gonna want to I'm not saying I want to hurt people, like, all the time, but it definitely crosses my mind, not gonna lie. Like, even when I lived out in the country, I used to live in the countryside in Virginia where it was all white people, these fucking, like, a bunch of fucking rednecks, and I would see how they acted and how they treated me a lot of times, and I want to smack them too. Same with black people in the hood. I see how stupid some of them act. Granted, not all of them, but most of them acted like fucking idiots. Men, women, children, you name it. Old people even. And it was like this, you could just as an outsider looking in, they just seem dumb. And I guess it's very similar here because so much of the population here in Cambodia is uneducated. They're probably pretty ignorant people, like ignorant in the sense that they don't know much about the outside world. They don't know much about Cambodian tradition or maybe what they see on TV or on their smartphone, which is probably not healthy. It's not a healthy way to perceive the world, I don't think. But let me sip my coffee here. I got no butter in my coffee this time. I just got 3 eggs and a little bit of milk. Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, at large, the people here, generally when you're dealing with them, like, they're fairly pleasant enough. And I'm not saying that they're bad people, but I'm saying that generally speaking, they're kind of a pain in the ass to deal with for me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, like, in the last few days especially, I've been getting I've been finding myself a little bit impatient with the locals here, which is kind of stupid because, like, I've kind of learned the language a bit. I've been here long enough to where I shouldn't feel that way. Maybe it's because I'm unhappy in my own life and it's projecting as dislike for the local people. I'm not saying I don't like Khmer people. Don't misunderstand me. I like Khmer people generally speaking, but man, they get on my fucking nerves sometimes. Not gonna lie. Like, sometimes, like, the language here, it's very tonal.
So it's very, like, nasally and high-pitched and twang a lot of the times, and it kind of hurts, and it's very high-pitched, and
it cuts through your ear and shit. It's like, just be sitting down, just trying to eat your breakfast in, like, a little cafe, nice and quiet. You're nice. I'm not saying, because again, Phnom Penh is by no means a quiet place. It is very loud all the fucking time, whether it's people, animals, vehicles, construction, you name it. It's always something that's loud. But just out of nowhere, some little 16-year-old Khmer girl, and dude, like, it's like, it's jolting. Like, it makes me jolt out of my seat. Like, it shocks me. But of course they don't give a fuck. I mean, a lot of these people don't like the foreigners here as well. Like you can tell that they don't, that they, you know, like if they can tell that we're annoyed by something, especially like something that they're doing, often what they'll do is they'll just do it even more because they know it pisses you off. So now I know some people are thinking, who are listening to this, well, if you don't like it, just get the fuck out, just move out of Cambodia. Well, I would if I had the money, but also my life here overall is good, and I'm also mature and intelligent enough to realize that no matter where I go, there's gonna be some shit that's annoying. I mean, dude, like, could you imagine living in fucking Iraq or, like, you know, like Libya or some shit like that, man? Could you imagine that? It'd be like Cambodia crushes living in the Middle East any day. I'm just simply saying that, I don't know, man. I guess I'm just kind of bitching about things here that annoy me. I mean, I don't know, like if I lived anywhere, I guess I would complain, man. I even went to get breakfast this morning at this place, and the minute I walk in, I get like this weird ass vibe. Like the people kind of look at me and then look back down, like, the fuck is this guy doing here? And so like I kind of knew what was up the second I went in this place. Like I knew going in there that they didn't want me there. And when they don't want you there, they're not gonna say, hey, get the fuck out of here. What they're gonna do is they're gonna fuck with you and then make it seem like they don't know what's going on, to annoy you to the point where you'll just leave. So they won't just say get out, but they'll just do dumb shit to annoy you. So let me tell you what they did. So I go in there, I sit down, and one of the boys is like walking around, and clearly it's his job to, like, he's like a server. Like, he fills up your glass, he gets you what you need, he takes your order. Now, granted, maybe they assume, like a lot of Khmer do, and in fact, pretty much all Khmer people, they assume as a whitey, and fair enough. I mean, like, it is Cambodia. Most white people don't speak any Khmer at all. Fair enough. But they assume I don't speak Khmer whatsoever. So the boy's just kind of like looking at me like awkwardly, like rather than coming up and making an attempt or getting somebody that does speak English, because there were people there that spoke English too. I just go up to the kitchen and I tell them what I want, because I don't know what else to do, man. Like, I'm sitting there for a few minutes. I got all these people just looking at me like they don't know what the hell to do. Like, they're so fucking dumb sometimes. Like, that's just how I think. Like, they're so dumb. Why would they just stare at me? Why wouldn't they ask me if I speak Khmer, dude? Anyways, I go up and in Khmer, I clearly, because I say this all the time, I say it I don't say it every day, but I do order this dish a lot. I say, Bai Sachuruk Pongti. And now, granted, if you're a real Cambodian, I know my pronunciation is not 100% correct, I understand, but it's pretty good, it's passable. It's just like an Asian guy saying, oh, I want po erai. Like, it's not perfect, but you know what the dude's saying. You know the motherfucker asked for pork and rice, man. So I sit down and they bring me the rice and I'm waiting on the pork and eggs, and then they bring me a piece of chicken all cut up. And I just like throw my hands up, man, because I could tell when I was ordering that they I'm telling you, man, they have this look in their eye when they don't want you there. You can fucking tell. It's like they're looking up at you all the time. They don't like they look at your face, but they look it's like they're looking through their eyelashes at you. So like there's something about the way they're looking at you, it's a little bit off, and it's like they don't really want you there. It's like when you're talking to them, they're not really listening. They're just thinking about you leaving. And anyway, so needless to say, I left, and I was fucking called them all fucking idiots and stupid and everything. And I don't normally I don't normally like to do that when I get upset. And in fact, I haven't really been losing my temper at all in the last couple months. Like, I didn't even lose my temper today. I just called them all stupid, and then I just left and just laughed about how fucking retarded they are. But that's another thing too. It's like in the last I've really noticed, like, since I've gotten these former roommates out of my house, these 3 people that I used to live with, man. Especially that the last one to go was the older Khmer lady. Her name was Chintu. Well, she's old. She's like 50 or 51 or whatever she is. And yeah, I used to fuck her. Yeah, that's right. I used to fuck her. It's her idea. Anyways, not that it matters. Like I used to fuck her, and I don't care about saying it. I've just noticed that since I've got these fucking terrible people out of my life, that I haven't really lost my temper in a while. Like, what I used to do almost every single night or day or just any time during the day here, when the next door neighbor's dog would start barking at night or in the morning or anything, it would obviously annoy me. And I was very quick to lose my temper and run outside and yell and cuss and scream and bang on the door and make a scene until they shut him up. And he has done that a few times, and I just don't get mad anymore. I mean, that's just a small example, but I don't get mad about the people here. I don't get mad about when things don't go my way. I don't get mad when people talk shit, or when I guess I've just become more comfortable in my own skin, like just in the last couple months, especially after I dated Chiva. Chiva was my ex-girlfriend, and she does live here in Phnom Penh, at least for now, before she moves somewhere else, possibly. But, like, especially when I met her and I started, I just never met anybody like her before, I guess, and she really, I don't know, man. We, to put it simply, we just made each other feel very good about who we were. And anyway, so although we're not together anymore, and I'll never forget her, man. Like, even if we never get back together ever again, I mean, she's always gonna be in my heart. She'll always have a special spot, and I know I'll never meet anybody quite like her again. And it does bum me out. And I'm not gonna lie, like, since we've broken up, that was like a few weeks ago. I mean, I've been depressed as fuck, and I know some of y'all don't even care. Like, oh, we all have breakups, stupid dude. We all, we're down sometimes. Yeah, that's true. I'm just sharing my shit, man. But the fucked up thing, it's like why we broke up. And I guess it's fairly common, I guess. But it's like, it feels like we broke up, but we shouldn't have broken up. It's almost like when things are going good and somebody just dies for no fucking reason. It's like, well, it was going so good and then just stopped for nothing. Like, I could see if there was an affair going on, like if she was cheating on me or I cheated on her, and we broke up. Like, that's a reason to break up. Or if there had been some serious, lying going on, or just whatever it was. But basically, like, the long and short was, she's essentially raised this child that's the child of another man, and the man uses this child to keep Chiva in his life, to keep himself relevant in Chiva's life. And as a result of Chiva taking care of this man's child, he also pays her a bit of money, but just enough to keep her in there. And it's a very terrible situation. His name is, I don't give a fuck about saying his name. This guy's a criminal. He deserves to be, stomped out and, put away. His name is Patty Bourke, Bourke, and I know he's a teacher here in Phnom Penh. He even sent me numerous death threats when Chiva and I were seeing each other. I mean, the threats they were silly and they were pretty lame. But nonetheless, the guy has it in him to threaten other people's lives. He has it in him to punch women in the face when he doesn't get what he wants. He's a terrible dude, and the fact that Chiva has to be with this guy who is just, there's not a good bone in his body. The fact that she's bound to him because of her love for his son, like, I almost feel bad for her because she has to be around the shit, and she's always fights with the guy, and I just feel like, I mean, obviously, if it wasn't for the boy, we'd probably be together. But it's just a fucked up thing, man. Because just of all the things, dude, of all the things that had to be that broke us up, and fuck. And I know that I need to take my own advice here, and that in the long run, it's all good. I know it's all good in the long run. Every time I've been devastated, I've had my heart broken. It's always worked out okay. But I just feel bad for her too, man, because she's really been through a lot in her life, and she'll always be a special person to me, no matter what. Like, even if I never see, I mean, I'm sure I'll see her again. It's not like we're not cool with each other or anything. It's just that, it's just not gonna work at this point. So it's a really fucked up thing, and that's definitely why I've been so depressed. And in all honesty, I think that's probably why I'm so irritable lately, and that's maybe why I'm bitching so much about the Khmer people. So there it is, everybody. I said it. I got it out. I'm fucking pissed off, and I'm a bit angry because I'm heartbroken. I'm angry. I really do want to. Anyways, I'm just gonna stop myself right there. I digress. So last week I talked to people about I was gonna go to Koh Rong for New Year's. Well, bit of a change of plans here. The girl I was gonna go with, I don't really know her too well. Like I train her, but she's actually going to be leaving the country next month, so she decided to invite me to New Year's with her and spend the weekend with her and a couple of her friends and like share tents and shit on the beach, which would have been cool. And but you know, to be honest, I didn't really have the funds to go. I'd rather not spend the small amount of money I do have just to blow it in a couple of days at some beach party. I'd rather do some a little bit more tactical with it, to be honest, because I keep making the mistake. Like whenever I come into a bit of money, I just kind of blow it on bullshit, and then I'm back to where I started, which I'm sure some of y'all can relate to. And yeah, so I'm not going to be going to Ko Wrong. I don't really have any plans for the new year. Last year, what the fuck did I do last year? Oh yeah, I was hanging out with my former roommates, and I remember on New Year's, like, myself and like the whole crew, whatever, we all go to this club here in town called Nova. It's on Street 214. It's a fucking shithole. I hate clubs, and they're so stupid to me. They're so dumb. Like you go in there, and the music is just obnoxiously loud. It's obnoxiously noisy. Like it basically sounds like a construction site with a beat. It sounds like chainsaws and hammers and fucking, you know, it sounds like people screaming with a fucking beat behind it. And then you've got about 30 bouncers, and they're just standing there like assholes, you know, like they won't move if you need them to move. They're just, you know, like robots. And I took a little bit of drugs before I went in there. I took some MDMA, and the shit just did not kick in at all. And I guess it was because within the last couple of weeks before, I'd been doing a lot of it, so I guess it would take more to load me up. And I just remember I was in the club, and it seemed like everybody's drugs had kicked in, and everyone was having this amazing time dancing around to the shitty fucking... I mean, guys, the music is terrible. It's terrible. It's a construction site with a house beat. And so I just go sit outside. It's like 11, it's probably like a little bit after 11 p.m., so it's almost midnight, and I remember I go sit outside on the street, and I'm just sitting there, and people are just kind of like walking by me. Occasionally somebody will sit down, and she'll ask me if I want to fuck her, basically. It's like a Cambodian prostitute. She'll ask me if I want to dance with her, if I want to take her out for the night. And I was just blowing her off, and then they call me back in for the New Year, so I begrudgingly go back in. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's so great, oh my god, sparkles, and like everyone's like lighting sparklers and wants to drink and dance to the music, and I just want to be out of there. I don't even want to be standing up. The music and the environment and the people, like the people's excitement just drained me. It took all the energy out of me. It made me want to sit outside. So I did, and eventually I got a tuk-tuk home with a couple of old friends, and we proceeded to party all throughout the night and do a shit ton of MDMA and ketamine. And I remember it was probably like 10. I mean, I don't even really know what time it was. It was a year ago, but it was probably like, you know, like the late morning, like around 10, 11, something like that. And we run out of drugs. No, and we still want to party all throughout the day. So one of our buddies, he goes out to get what we think he's going to bring. We think he's going to bring back a gram of MDMA and a gram of coke. So he goes out, and God bless this guy. I felt so bad for him, man. Him and his buddy, they go out, and we just think, yeah, we're good, man. They'll be back anytime. They'll be back in like, an hour tops. 5 hours later, keep in mind, we have been doing drugs all night, all morning, and then we run out, and then all we want to do is do more drugs, of course. And we're waiting for 5 fucking hours, man. So during this time, dude, it was just like a blur. Like everything on the wall and the floor, everything in the room was just melted into it was melted into itself. So like I would look at a bowl of apples, like a bowl of fruit. We actually had a bowl of fruit there, and it just looked like red and orange mush. It looked like if you just took like red paint and orange paint and just splattered it about. Like that's what a bowl of apples looked like. That's how much ketamine we had done. So, and then that night, we eventually got our drugs, and we basically just had a day-long drug party. Like that was our New Year's, and I'm not gonna be doing that this New Year's. I don't hang out with that crowd anymore, so I don't really go to drug parties. If I ever do drugs, it's just by myself, because I have no friends anymore. So. The fuck else? Oh yeah. Hold on, let me use my coffee. I was just thinking about. I just saw some Christmas pictures for my family back home, and I saw my Uncle Dave. Shout out to my Uncle Dave. And he's actually the dude that I lived with before I moved to Thailand. So before I moved, or not moved to Thailand, went to Thailand and then moved to Cambodia. I was living in D.C. at the time. And right across the river from D.C. in Virginia is a town called Alexandria, Virginia. It's actually a very big town. And I lived there for the last month after I ditched my apartment, and I stayed with him for like a month, and then I went to Thailand. Yeah, so I was thinking about him, and I was thinking about going to the gun shows with him. I remember that. I remember Dave. He was the first guy I ever shot guns with. When I was like 9 years old, he came out to my house. And he brought, no, he didn't come out, no. He came out to my house to pick me up, and then he took me back to his house, whatever. Anyways, I remember with him, I was like 9 years old, and he had a big-ass 357 Magnum, 12-gauge shotgun, 9mm, and a 22 long rifle. And that was my first time ever shooting guns, and I just remember shooting this 357, and for those of you who don't know much about guns, a 357 is like a revolver, so it's got like the little spinny thing inside. It's not a semi-automatic, like it doesn't hold a clip. It holds six bullets, and well, actually the one I had held 5. It was a 5-shooter, but that was a snub nose I had. But he had this big ass 357. I remember the fucking kick on that motherfucker, dude. This shit was. Remember the kick on that motherfucker, dude? Hell yeah, man, America. And I remember I went back to my school, and I lived in this small ass town called Front Royal, Virginia. When I went back to my school, it was like a country ass redneck town. And I told this boy, his name was Zach McClellan, and he was one of these boys that like. He was just always a dick. He just always even if he was being nice to you, like he was still kind of being a dick about it. Like he just couldn't just be genuinely cool to you. He was a big fat ass motherfucker too. Always had like black skin under his eyes. Like he was always, I don't know if that's genetic or what, but it always looked like he was underslept or on crack. And you know what? Fuck him. I hope he's dead. You know why I say that? You know what? Fuck him. Fuck his family. Yeah, I said it. He was always a dick. Fuck Zach McClellan. Anyways, I told him I shot a 357, and he was, just giving me all this shit like, oh man, there ain't no fucking way your pussy ass can shoot a 357, man. It'll fucking kick up and knock your fucking goddamn head off, queer. Like, he really talked like this. He like put effort into being mean. He actually put effort into it, and, but I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the gun shows, man. So, I remember when I bought my first gun, I was, 23, 24, and my first gun, what the fuck was my first gun? Holy shit. Oh yeah, it was a Glock 21. It was a Glock, it was the model, or the gun number was 21, which is a 45 caliber. It's pretty fat bullet, and I thought it was a pretty good buy on my part, and, going to these gun shows, dude, is a trip. It's an absolute trip. So my uncle, just to paint a picture, Uncle Dave, great guy, always been fantastic. He normally like when he goes out, like when he's at the house, he wears sweatpants, and where you can clearly see his balls, and just like his cock and balls just like poking right out, like doesn't give any fucks about the bulge. He'll have on like some like tacky ass t-shirt. It'll be like it'll be like the fucking like Garfield the cat or some shit with like raggedy ass sweatpants. Just not concerned about giving fucks at all. The dude gives no fucks, and that's why I love the man. He'll have on slippers, and he's got this big ass beard that he doesn't trim or keep neat whatsoever. It's down to his chest. He wears glasses, and he's got a bald head, but he's cool as fuck. He just doesn't care about how he looks, man. That's how. I don't know, like, that's kind of how I want to be, I guess, like, one of these days. Although, I would want to take better care of my body, though. He doesn't take the best care of his body. I think he just drinks a lot and eats a lot of shit and never exercises. But anyways, I don't want to shit on my Uncle Dave. I fucking love the guy. He's awesome. And he used to take me to the gun shows, or, like, I'd go with him, and he fit right in, and honestly, I fit right in, too. So, like, you go in there. And we used to go in this place. It was called the Nation's Gun Show in Chantilly, Virginia, right there at the Dulles Expo Center. And this place, they would do like motorcycle shows, car shows, fucking tattoo shows, anything like medieval craftsmanship shows or any kind of shit. And a few times a year. I think it was like every 2 or 3 months actually. So it was actually quite often. They would have a gun show, and it lasted about 3 days. And what it was, like, you go in there, of course you got to, like, you know, get checked out. You got to get your little bracelet or whatever on, and like, you can bring guns in there to sell. Obviously you can't bring any loaded guns, and I'm pretty sure they didn't let you bring in any kind of ammo either. It was just guns, but they had to be inspected by the front, I guess the front gate area, whatever. They had to just check it out real quick, and then they would cock it open and then put like a little what do they call those things? Fucking cable tie through it, so you couldn't actually shoot anybody. So you go in there, like, the first thing you see are a bunch of swords, actually, which is still pretty cool. Like, it's a gun show. I don't know why you would sell swords there, but basically you just have all these different vendors all around this gigantic warehouse trying to sell their shit. So you got people all over the state of Virginia. They came up to sell their guns. They came up to sell, like, their handmade, custom fucking Death Squad 4000 turret machine guns. Like, I'm trying to think what the craziest gun I saw there was at the gun show. I mean, they definitely had 50 cals. I remember this one 50 cal. It was like this big ass metal box that with like legs. It was like a tripod. You sat it down. The barrel had to be at least 3 to 4 feet. And it looked like this thing was just built to wipe out a city, man. And it was like $10,000 some for this thing. Sorry for all the sniffing, guys. I keep getting a stuffy nose. Damn it, keep getting a stuffy nose. And so, like, I would walk around, and most of the people that you see here, you might be surprised, are like pretty average looking people. Like, people seem to have this stereotype. Oh, well, you know, gun shows full of a bunch of fucking, you know, rednecks and fucking Trump supporters and racist and shit. And now, granted, that is true. There are going to be, like, a lot of NRA members there. There are going to be a lot of people there who might be, like, more conservative or white wing. Yeah, I said it, real talk. Not the right wing, the white ring. Dude, say that shit 5 times fast. The right wing or the white wing. Fuck that. Fuck Sally sells cheese by the seashore, man. Fuck that one. The right wing by the white wing. Say that shit 5 times fast. Ain't gonna happen. And, you know, it's almost the same like when I was a trucker. Generally speaking, the mass perception of truckers in America are like, you know, country boys, like white guys typically, uneducated, southern accent, probably like country music, probably could potentially be a bit on the racist or ignorant side. And largely at the gun show, that's typically what you see, but like at least, I mean, like a good half had to be people just who had kids, like soccer moms. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, a lot of people are getting into guns because I think that I just feel like in America, I just feel like either everybody should have guns or nobody should. Because the fight over who should have guns and who shouldn't, it doesn't seem to be working out too well, because you can ban guns all day long. Guess what? Criminals break the law. That means that if they want a gun, they can still get one, even if they're banned. In D.C., Washington, D.C., where I lived for several years, guns are banned. You cannot have a gun unless you are a police officer. You can have a long gun, like a rifle or shotgun, but it has to be in your home, unloaded. You can't have a fucking loaded gun anywhere in D.C. Do you know how many people get fucking shot every day in D.C. on the streets? It doesn't matter that guns are illegal, dude. It's motherfuckers who use the guns, dude. So, and it pisses me off too. It's like, you got to depend on the police, but there are so many parts of the world where, granted, there are police in that region, but if you live in an area and it takes 10 minutes for the cops to get to you, or even longer, like a half hour or longer than that, and you don't have a gun to protect yourself against a criminal, then what? The best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And I maintain that. So I'm all for gun rights. I'm all for people owning guns. If everybody can have a gun, then so be it. if certain people can have guns but others can't, it's not going to matter, because those people who can't, if they want to, can still get one and use it on people who do. Ugh. It's a fucking headache, dude. So, going to the gun shows were fun, and I mean, of course, you got people there trying to hustle you, trying to sell you their guns and shit, and like you can tell it's a piece of shit. And I'm also not gonna lie, you know, there are some gun freaks. There's definitely gun freaks who go there to buy guns just to have guns. Like they don't go there because they're gonna use it for target practice. Even they just want to have a gun. And just like it's like when you watch MTV Cribs and the motherfucker has 9 Lamborghinis. Like you only have 2 hands and 2 feet, man. You can only drive 1 car, and you're gonna have 9 fucking cars. But then again, I've never had that kind of money, so I can't really talk shit. But I can imagine if I did have that much money to where I could afford 9 Lamborghinis, which has to be well over $1 million, maybe $2 million worth of car. I can't imagine that I would do that. Like if I could get one vehicle, I think the best all-around vehicle is probably, like for me, is a pickup truck. Yeah, that's right, guns and pickup trucks. Yeah, I'm a redneck. That's right. Like if I had a shit ton of money and I could have any car I wanted, like I don't think I would buy 8, 9 cars, man. I just can't see myself doing that. I'd probably, what I would do is I'd buy 2 cars. I'd have 1 car, which is like my luxury, smooth, you know, sleek, nice, you know, nighttime assassin car. And then I just drive my car for like lifting weights, you know what I mean? So like 1 car is like doing ballet, the other car is for lifting weights, doing deadlifts and hitting the punching bag basically. So I'd probably have a big old pickup truck, off-road, fully just rednecked out. I'd have a lift kit, of course. I'd have a gun rack. I'd have fucking smokestacks. No truck nuts, but I'd have smokestacks. It'd be cool if I could legally install machine guns. Nah, but reminds me of that shit from Twisted Metal. Remember that game, Twisted Metal, man? That was like the first video game I ever got into. I played Twisted Metal, the first one, and I always wanted to be Hammerhead. It was either Hammerhead or Darkseid. I guess because they had like the big truck. I always thought the big trucks were cool. And then I actually ended up driving those big trucks. Dreams do come true, everybody. So let me check my time here. I'm at about 37 minutes. Alrighty. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I mean, like there's even some schools in America where they're having the teachers armed, and these said teachers are unidentified because, you know, they're not the public's not supposed to know like which teacher has the gun. I guess fair enough, that makes sense. But I guess if I'm a parent, let's say I'm a parent and my son or daughter, let's just say that my child goes to a school. I don't want to be gender specific, everybody. If I have a child that goes to a school and I know that, let's say there's, you know, let's keep it simple. Let's say there's 1,000 students, and there's 100 staff at the school. There's like 60 teachers, staff, lunch ladies, all that shit. And I know that out of these 1,000 kids that, well, and this does not count the school resource officer. This doesn't count the cop at the school. The cop already has a gun, of course. Let's say 10 teachers have guns. Let's say 10 staff members are armed. And I don't think it should just be teachers. Like, I even think a fucking lunch lady should be carrying a piece, man. Fuck yeah. You never know, man. Like someone might come in through the back door in the fucking cafeteria. I'm dead serious, man. So not just teachers, man, but administration, fucking band teacher, goddamn maintenance staff, janitors, lunch lady gets a piece too. If I knew that these people were getting legitimate hands-on training from licensed and like skilled professionals, and that they went through testing, you know, just like any kind of like military service member or even a cop. Now, granted that even cops, even those motherfuckers don't know how to shoot. And see, like the thing is this, like you can train all day on how to shoot a gun, and don't get me wrong. I think if you're gonna have concealed carry, you should definitely get training. Definitely get training. I mean, of some kind. Like at least know how to take your gun apart. You got to know how to load it. You got to know how to fix it if something gets jammed up, because something can get jammed up, especially in a semi-automatic. A revolver has less moving parts, so it's pretty much not going to jam ever, but a semi-automatic can, and it's happened to me before at the shooting range. And I can imagine that if you were in a situation where you needed to shoot some motherfuckers and your gun jammed up, that would kind of suck. That would kind of suck, especially if in that split second, it's either you hit that person or you don't. And if you don't, you're dead. Or somebody that's with you is dead. So it's definitely important to know how to work your shit, man. And that's professional speaking. It's good how to know your shit. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. So, yeah, man, like if they were getting legitimate training, but the thing about this legitimate training is that you can have all the training in the world, but you don't know what it's really like to shoot somebody for real. Like, shoot a real live human. Now, even if they're trying to shoot you back, you don't train for that. There's no training where somebody shoots at you with live rounds and might miss you. There's, like, you can't do that except for the real shit, man. So, but I would feel better if these teachers had training and they at least were competent in, you know, disassembling the gun. They knew how to work it. They knew how to unjam it. They knew at least how to hold it properly. They knew how not to drop it. They knew how to shoot. They knew how to put it back in their holster without dropping it on the ground. They knew how to take it out of their holster quickly without fudging up. They shot pretty accurately, but you cannot simulate somebody trying to shoot you and kill you with live rounds. Like you can have a motherfucker with blanks, but mentally it's not going to do the same thing because you know they're blanks. You know that no matter how many times they shoot at you, you're not going to get hurt. Unless they're like right in your face, of course. Like a blank can still kill you if it's point blank, but if it's like, 20 feet away, it's not going to do shit. So, but yeah, like I guess feel okay if I knew the teachers had guns, but, and then like the counter argument is, well, if they have guns, then the teachers can just shoot. Well, yeah, they could. I mean, yeah, they could. Well, so could cops. I mean, cops could just start unloading on people on the street, and fuck, they've done it before. What about people in the military? They could just take shit over now, man. Like, they're the motherfuckers with all the guns. So I guess you kind of have to have a certain level of trust to allow that to happen, man. But I'd rather know that there are some people in the school that are trained, that where it's in their interest to protect the students in the school, that being my child or your child or whoever. I'd rather that than somebody attack the school or multiple people attack the school and then there's hardly anybody there but a fucking, off-duty deputy sheriff or whatever. Some fucking like half-retired deputy sheriff who's all got an alcohol problem. It doesn't, totally forgot how to even like disassemble their gun. I would feel more safe knowing that there's like 10 to 15 armed teachers in there. At least I would know that there's a strong chance that they could take the shooter out before the police got there. And that's the other thing. It's like if a shooting did take place, how long would it take for the police to even get there, and not only get there but actually take out the shooter? Like that could take as long as, at least where I went to high school, man, like that could have taken as long as 15 minutes, man. And 15 minutes when there's a shooting, like that's eternity. A lot of motherfuckers can get shot in 15 minutes, dude. So, anyways, man, I haven't shot a gun. When's the last time I shot a gun? Last time I shot a gun was, man, it was a while ago. Shit, it was probably like back in 2014 sometime. I don't even know, dude, to be honest. I was definitely shooting a shotgun. It was a lot of fun. That was one of my more favorite guns to shoot, was my Mossberg 500. So I know another reason that I'm not upset that I'm not going out of town this weekend to Koh Rong is I'm actually staying in Phnom Penh, is because I get to see UFC 207. Now y'all know I'm a huge MMA fan. Like, that's my favorite sport. That's not my favorite. That's the only sport I even pay attention to. I mean, I have a kickboxing background. I don't really pay attention to kickboxing. Like, I do for some of the bigger names like Rico Verhoeven or Badr Hari or who the fuck else is big now. I honestly don't even really follow kickboxing. Like I watch it occasionally, but I watch more MMA. It's more exciting of sport. I mean, it just is, of course. And I'm going to be watching 207 this weekend. It's going to be, I guess, Saturday here in Cambodia, and it's cool because I get to watch it for free. Fox Sports 1, and UFC 207 is going to be good, man. They got some 3 big fights that I'm looking forward to. Now, the first one is John Lineker, T.J. Dillashaw. T.J. Dillashaw used to be the bantamweight champion. Bantamweight is 135 pounds. Dillashaw is fighting a gentleman named John Lineker. He's from Brazil, and his nickname is the Hands of Stone. And if you guys ever watch this dude fight, this guy, John Lineker, he's about 5'3". I'm dead serious, about 5'3". Has a hard time making 135. He has to really emaciate himself to even, so he's actually he's like big for the weight class. He's a big guy for the weight class. Like, he's thick and he's strong. This motherfucker hits like a truck. But TJ Dillashaw is a technician. He's a lot more well-rounded, at least in the striking. Probably on the ground as well. But if Lineker lands one of these bombs, dude, I gotta go Lineker. So, in all honesty, if I gotta say who do I want to win, I'm not really emotionally invested in either of them. But I guess I'm the kind of guy who wouldn't mind seeing John Lineker win. It's not because I don't like Dillashaw. It has nothing to do with that. I like Dillashaw as a fighter, of course, but I'm kind of going for Lineker just because he's the underdog. He's never been champion. He's never really gotten the glory. He just comes out there and he swings like a fucking warrior, just like an axe-wielding warrior, just coming out there to chop your head off, and he doesn't quit. And for that, I kind of admire him. So, although Dillashaw is probably the more skillful fighter, probably the better conditioned, more experienced fighter, I kind of like Lineker. But then again, it could go either way, man. I just want to see a good fight. Then we got fucking Ronda Rousey, Nunez. And, I'm watching these videos, like these UFC embedded videos where they do like the pre-fight promotion, where they kind of like show what the fighters are going through up into the fight and like their training and their emotions. And I really think it's, I don't want to say lame, like I think it's just gay. It's just like really lame and gay, and how they're making Ronda Rousey out to be like this victim. Like they're playing these promos for the upcoming fight. And every time they show Ronda Rousey, they play this slow, dramatic, sad music like, oh my God, she's so brave. She's so strong. Let's all applaud her. Wow, what a strong woman she is after all the adversity. Listen, like Mike Tyson said, this is the hurt business. You're in a business where your job is to hurt somebody and possibly get hurt yourself. Ronda Rousey was a dominating champion. She literally destroyed all of her opponents, finished all of her opponents. I'm pretty sure she finished everybody she fought, literally. So she has another fight against this lady named Holly Holm. This is about a year ago. Holly Holm outclassed her. It was the first time Ronda Rousey fought somebody where Ronda couldn't do anything. Ronda gets KO'd in the second round. She takes a pretty brutal high kick to the neck. She gets KO'd. She's embarrassed. She feels like shit because she lost. But she takes a year off and talks all this shit like,
I'm still a champion.
Like she's on the Ellen show, and she only goes on the Ellen show because Ellen doesn't know shit about fighting. Ellen doesn't know anything about mixed martial arts, so she's not going to be able to get in her head like that. Ellen's just going to be like, oh, okay, it's a woman. I'm going to be super sensitive and agree with all the bullshit she says, all the self-compliments and shit. Like Ronda Rousey's like,
I think it's a mindset. I think that even I never lost the fight. I still always win because losing is a mindset.
But what happened when you were beating bitches up and you were judo flipping them and punching their faces and like, you won the fight, right? They lost. Don't be a do-nothing bitch. Right now, I'm not saying I don't like Ronda Rousey. I'm not saying she's a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think it's kind of silly how the UFC and the media, they're making it this big, amazing thing that a cage fighter lost. Yeah, she lost. Okay, that sucks, but what about all the other motherfuckers who they come up and they grind and they grind and they just get beat and they get beat and they get beat? Ronda Rousey was literally the most famous like UFC star ever, at least at one point. Now it's Conor McGregor, and then she actually gets beat. Everyone can see she's human, and then now they're playing this dramatic music like, oh my God, all she's been through. Let's feel sorry for her. She's so strong. She's been through so much. Let's show her our support. It's like, she's a fucking fighter. It's like if I'm a fireman and I get burned in the house, like, dude, that's the fucking job you signed up for. Like, I'm not gonna get a fucking a front page newspaper. Oh my God, this now. Granted, if I go in the building and I save a family or something, I get burned. That's a different story. But like, that's still part of the job, though. So I'm going for Amanda Nunes. I'm going for Amanda Nunes because she knocks bitches the fuck out. If you watch her highlight reel, she doesn't just tap girls around and stay on top and hold them down. She beats your ass. She's beating your ass as if you tried to hit on her girlfriend. And that's cool too. Like, not that it's a big deal that she's gay. Like, she's for sure not the only homosexual in the UFC. 100%. She's, as far as I know, she's the only openly gay MMA fighter. As far as I could be wrong, but it's the only openly one. Now, I know it's going to be more accepted for two women to be gay. And like, her girlfriend, Amanda Nunes' girlfriend, like, trains with her and all that. Dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine, like, if she cheated on Amanda Nunes? Oh my God. Can you imagine the ass whooping she would get? Or like if they're out at the club and like some other chicks like try to come up and hit on Amanda's girlfriend. Oh my God, dude, they'd be fucked. Anyway, like, she's jacked too. She's jacked and hits like a dude. So I'm going for Nunes. I mean, it's more accepted for women to be gay, whether it's UFC or whatever, than two dudes. Like, the second a guy, let's say, for example, let's just say hypothetically, who's a good example? Let's say Donald Cerrone. I couldn't imagine him being gay, but let me just say, Donald Cerrone comes out and he does an interview with like whoever, like ESPN. He's like, all right, man, what's up, everybody? Look, man, I've just been wanting to say something for a long time, and I'm a little bit ashamed and embarrassed, but I think I need to tell the world, I'm gay, man. I like dudes. I'm fucking gay, man. If he said that, there would be huge backlash guaranteed, because he's a dude, and you know that in these gyms, in MMA gyms especially, they got to do rolling around on the ground. I've even heard jiu-jitsu coaches, I'm not going to say where, I'm not going to say their names, I'm not going to say them, but, well, you know what? Fuck them. I will. At this place I used to train called Capital MMA and Elite Fitness in Alexandria, Virginia. That's a place I trained before I moved to Asia. There were a couple of guys in there who were just like clearly gay. And I actually was buddies with one of them. I happened to spar with him one day. This is in Muay Thai, so there was no grappling. And his name was Sean. Like, nice guy, but like the second you talk to him, like, just like, he doesn't look gay at all. Like, he looks like he had, looked like a pretty like manly guy. I guess he was like tall, pretty fit, like not very strong, but like I guess he was fit, and had a goatee, he was tall, didn't stand any kind of gay way. He didn't really. But the second he opened his mouth, you could just immediately tell that he just loved cock. And it was pretty obvious, and like, he would be talking to some of the instructors sometimes, and I could tell in the instructors' eyes that like, they were thinking like, dude, I'm not having this guy in my jiu-jitsu class. And it was fucked up, because I asked him, I was like we actually went out for a beer one time because I was moving. I was leaving the gym, and he, like he offered to take me out for like a beer or whatever, and just chill. And yeah, we did. But when I was there, I asked him, I'm like, so, what do you think about jiu-jitsu, man? Like, what do you think about rolling with the guys? And like, we had already established the fact that he was gay. Like, he had already just said that. But like, I already knew, but he just wanted to clarify. And he just said honestly that that it made him uncomfortable because he had an interest in learning, but he knew that the other guys knew he's gay, and that he didn't want to make these people feel uncomfortable and create any kind of weirdness just because of that. So he figured best to just not do it in the first place, and which is fucked up. It's like, dude, like if you want to learn jiu-jitsu, like there's no reason why. But on the other hand, I'm not him, so I don't know how uncomfortable or awkward I'd feel going into a room if everybody felt uncomfortable doing the thing. Because like jiu-jitsu is like, you got to be on the other guy, like you got to be holding him and wrapped around him, like. And if one of the guys is gay and the other guys aren't, and they know the dude's gay, like, I'm sorry, but they're most likely, a lot of the guys probably aren't going to really want to roll with him too much. I mean, I could be wrong. Me personally, if you want my opinion, if the dude is going in there and he's rolling and he's not showing any sign of sexual desire or excitement, like if the dude has a boner and you're rolling with him, yeah, kick him out of the class. Kick him out of the class. Not because he's gay, but because he's got a fucking boner. Rolling, or like, it's the same thing in kickboxing. Like if you're walking around with a fucking boner in class, you gotta go, man. That's not cool. That's not what we're about here. But if it's just a dude and he just happens to like guys, but he also wants to genuinely learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you're not letting him do it just because you know he's gay, like behind closed doors, like that's kind of messed up. But on the other hand, I get it. I'm not gonna lie, like I get it. Like I myself like guys. I like women sometimes. I like women, I like guys. But like if I'm going to go into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I am doing it because I want to roll. I actually took one class. I took one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class in my life. I didn't like it. And, granted, the dude I was rolling with, I was no way, shape, or form attracted to him whatsoever. He's completely not the type of dude that I would find attractive, but nonetheless, actually, there wasn't any guys in there that I found attractive. They were all like a bunch of fucking dude or meatheads for the most part. I'm not attracted to those type of guys whatsoever. And, I got choked out. I choked him out. And I just wasn't into rolling around, man. So, I don't know. Like, there's a ton of so-called straight guys, and they just love to spend their days rolling around with other sweaty dudes. So, who's the fag for real? I don't know, man. Anyways, the main event... Pardon me. The main event's going to be Dominick Cruz versus Cody Garbrandt. Now, Dominick Cruz has had a much longer road. He's a veteran. He's had some serious setbacks in his life. He's been a dominant champion. He's got way more experience than Garbrandt. But Cody Garbrandt, hell yeah. Cody Garbrandt is a little tank, man. And this guy is undefeated. Pretty sure every fight he's had, he's won by knockout. I'm pretty sure literally 100% knockout rate. One punch knockout power. And... listening to the trash talk between Garbrandt and Cruz is kind of funny. Like, Dominick Cruz's trash talk is very, in my mind, is kind of like cerebral. It's kind of like cerebral because he actually doesn't really cuss. He's kind of like a smartass. Like he'll just say, like I remember he said to Cody Garbrandt, he's like, I bought a house beating your whole team. Cody Garbrandt trains with a team called Team Alpha Male. And that's the gym. And then he's fighting Dominick Cruz. And Dominick Cruz has happened to fight a lot of guys from Team Alpha Male because Team Alpha Male is a team for smaller weight classes in MMA, like bantamweight, flyweight, featherweight, I think possibly lightweight. Probably not. Anyways, he's beat a lot of them, and he's made so much money from beating those guys that he bought a house, and he said that, and like that alone was so fucking great. Like the trash talk is very cerebral and like really it gets in your head. It actually has a meaning. It's not just like, oh fuck you motherfucker, I'll beat your ass. And then Cody Garbrandt is just saying shit like, oh, I think Dominic Cruz is just annoying. Like his style of fighting is annoying. And I guess I can see why, because it's so unorthodox and so unpredictable, but it's so good. So I don't really know, man. I feel like a lot of these guys, they're obviously trying to sell the fight. Like they're trying to do their job by promoting it and putting asses in the seats, and they want more people to watch. But like, for sure, if you're gonna talk shit, man, like, be real about it. Like, it's like they're talking shit to each other, but they don't even mean it. It's obvious they don't mean it. Like when Conor McGregor talks shit, he kind of makes it personal, man. Like he really like puts a tone into it that makes the shit personal. When these guys do it, when a lot of other guys do it, it's like they put no feeling behind it. They put no emphasis behind it. They're just saying it just to say it with this dead eye stare in their face. It's just lame, dude. It just goes to show why a lot of people too think fighters aren't very clever or smart people. I guess because a lot of them, I don't know, they're so focused on their skill, they're so focused on the craft, they don't have time to try to be funny and shit. So I guess that's part of it. So anyways, I think I'm at about an hour or so here. Yeah, man, it's been good. I'm going to keep putting out B-holes a couple times a week. Check me out, guys, on YouTube, No Joke Howard. I put out vlogs every week. I try to put out anywhere from 2 to 4 vlogs a week on my channel. Check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/NoJokeHoward. Instagram at Brayton like Satan, and on the YouTube video that you guys are watching right now, I have all my social media contact in the link below. Also, if you guys want to email me for any fan questions, anything like that, video or B-hole topics, the B-hole show at gmail.com. That's THEBHOLESHOW at gmail.com. Motherfuckers, it was a pleasure speaking to you all. Thanks for joining me in the B-hole. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.